Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Welcome to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet, your fearless host, investor, entrepreneur, and business strategist. Why are we here? Because iron sharpens iron. And when we have successful entrepreneurs, investors share what's working in business and even some of what's not, what we are able to do is learn and grow. As a result, our businesses are able to flourish, and the ripple effect impacts not only ourselves, our teams, and our families, but also our communities and our world. You are in for a treat today. I have a very special guest who is going to talk all things psychological safety, how to really manage stress in your day-to-day life, not just in business, but also at home, so that you can show up and be the absolute best leader that you can be for your people. So without further ado, I would love to introduce to you Jennifer Cahill. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much, Jen. It's a pleasure to be here with you and with your listeners and viewers.
So we are going to dive right in. You are a rock star, serial entrepreneur. You've had a successful exit. You are now founding or co-founding a startup. You're a mover and a shaker, speaking all over the world. How do you do it?
With ease and effortlessly. All kidding aside, I remember very clearly, I was in San Francisco years ago and I was sitting with this executive and he said, "You know what I say, Jen, every day before I leave for the office?" I said, "What?" He said, "I say that everything in my day is going to be easy and effortless." And so that's my intention, is one of the secrets that I teach entrepreneurs and that I teach other people is how to set intentions as part of your day. Not just what do you physically want to do, but who do you want to be ontologically? If you're going to appear on a podcast or a show, do you want to be vibrant, engaging, connected? Do you want to be serious and thoughtful and inquisitive? None of this is good or bad or right or wrong, but most of us are living our lives reactively rather than proactively. So I like to teach people how to become the CEO of their own lives.
That's fantastic. We are definitely soul sisters in that. And so let me ask you, you set an intention every day, and we were talking earlier before the show about one of the habits that you have that I find really interesting. You have a text buddy that you text every single day, and that sort of sets that intentionality as well. Give us details.
Okay, so I have two text buddies every day. One text buddy is a friend of mine who's here actually in Texas in Austin, and we play a game every day called How Does Life Get Any Better Than This? And that's all we text each other every day. And every now and again we'll be like, "Oh my God, you won't believe, like she just sold out of every product she had on TikTok Shop." So we'll share little wins, but that's our only goal, is to keep reminding ourselves over and over to bring it back to the good. It's easy to get steeped in the stress and the bad. The second thing that I do is I have another accountability buddy who I text and talk to daily. What are the top 3 things you're committed to every day? In fact, another mentor of mine who you must have on the show, Melissa Bernstein from Melissa and Doug Toys. Did your kids ever play with her toys?
No, not at all.
Oh my gosh, so Melissa and Doug Toys, we were just talking a month or so ago, she got toys in 1 billion children's hands. She's
Wow.
Literally, that's my goal by the time I die. I want to impact 1 billion people. And Melissa said, "You know what, Jen, I just found out our toys reached 1 billion kids." And so she is a brilliant entrepreneur. And one of the things she taught me as a mentor is she said, you have your 3 things you're going to do every day, and you do not do anything else until you do 1, 2, 3. And then you can have fun. You can do whatever else you want that day, but you must accomplish those 3 non-negotiable things.
So I'm just going to wrap this up in a bow for all of you amazing people. 3 things. We're talking about focus on your intention and prioritize accordingly. I know that that was phenomenal what you shared, but if you're listening at home, what are the 3 things that you're going to accomplish today? Put that down, write that down, and make that one of your action items, because we talk about intentionality a lot on the show, and part of that is morning routine or however we build that in as a habit, but this is real. This is something that everyone listening can do, so thank you so much for sharing that. And so let's kind of go to the physiology. You have been all over the world. You have traveled so much. And as someone else who has also been traveling, how do you maintain the energy, the physiological health, the sleep, all of the things that go into that? How are you able to maintain that sort of balance as you jet set and rock this world with your businesses?
Well, thank you, Jen. The secret I'll share with you and with the listeners out there is it's all about setting your day up right. I see so many entrepreneurs who are reactive in their day. I do not start my day without, number one, meditating. I've been a devotee of transcendental meditation for about 11 years now. And that's how we keep the Hulk at bay. I'll be honest with you, my husband will be like, did you guys ever see the movie? I think it's like the Hulk or the Avengers or whatever it is. And Scarlett Johansson says to the Hulk, it's okay, big guy, the sun's going down. Well, that would be me. I'd be like Hulk walking through a city going like, Hulk, smash things, if it weren't for meditation. So I've learned that meditation keeps the Hulk at bay. So I meditate, I immediately write down what are the top 10 things I'm grateful for? Before I even go into meditation, I'm reflecting on what am I grateful for? I woke up today. I get to interview with Jen. I'm in Houston. I get to go to Monterey tomorrow. All these wonderful things. So if you see it as a have to, like, oh, I have to go to Houston. Oh, I have to go to San Fran or India or wherever, then that's the only perspective you're going to have. You're going to be resisting whatever that thing is. However, if you get excited, if you appreciate it, if you're grateful for it, that context shift is decisive, and then that helps you to be more effective. Now I'm going to let you guys in on another little secret. How many of us have ever had a fight? Jen, have you ever fought with anybody? We've all fought with somebody at some point in our life. Have you ever noticed, Jen, that you are not fighting with an upset 50-year-old or 60-year-old or 45 or 20-year-old? You're dealing with an upset 3-year-old. Have you ever noticed that?
Always, always.
So here's what I found. That is our inner child. Years ago, about 7 years ago, I had a girlfriend of mine who was an executive at a prominent law firm, and she starts telling me about inner child work. I'm like, I'm gonna what? And she said, I want you to imagine you and every other person out there has a little boy, a little girl, little they, little them, and that little person hasn't been tended to. We might have gotten ignored as kids, not parented right. So what we have the opportunity to do is reparent ourselves. It's one of my favorite techniques. So as soon as I'm finished meditating, I immediately go within and I check and I say, sweetheart, how are you doing today? What do you need? How are you feeling? And here's what blows my mind, Jen. 42-year-old Jennifer K. Hill sitting here in front of you will not feel sad, angry, upset. But when I put my hand on my heart and say, sweetheart, how are you feeling? She'll be like, I'm really sad. And I'm like, we're sad? I'm like, I'm surprised by that. I didn't know I was sad. What are we sad about? But it's all this stuff that's happening at the subconscious level. And if we don't attend to ourselves, then it gets triggered unexpectedly by the teachers at our kids' school or whatever it might be. So I invite you, if you've never tried it before, after a meditation or just do some slow, deep breathing techniques, vagal breathing, heart math breathing, it all works. And you can put your right hand on your heart or your left hand on your abdomen or both. And you just shut your eyes and you visualize yourself as a little boy, little girl, at whatever age you want, or you can look at a picture of yourself at that age. And then you get to know yourself. You find out your wants and needs. And you and I were talking before the show, Jen. I forgot for about 20 years how much I loved dancing because I was made fun of at one point in my life for dancing. And then all of a sudden, my inner child loves dancing and ice cream. So every day we do dancing. We don't have ice cream every day. But
hey, it's okay if you do. There's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone.
I was telling somebody this, like, you can give her metaphorical ice cream. So I was like, okay, cool. We can have rainbow metaphorical ice cream too. But it's about providing ourselves with what we need. So as leaders, as CEOs, otherwise we're going to react rather than respond to our team and to any circumstances that come up in the company.
So, note to self, check in with the inner child, see what needs nourishing, because when we take care of ourselves, we are actually leading ourselves, and then we're better, more effective leaders. And so as we think about this, as we move through this, what was the thing that surprised you the most? Like, give me an example of something that came up with this technique that you were like, wow, I can't believe that.
So here's what's really funny, Jen. So I started doing this technique, and I was pretty good about it. Like, I would do it every day, but like you said, I travel an exorbitant amount every year. And sometimes I forget to check in. So this is what happens when I forget to check in with her. Don't worry, you're safe. I checked in with her today.
Okay, I'm like, all right, do I need to move?
Back off, give a wide berth, people. So this is what happens when I don't check in with her. Then around 2 o'clock, which we're right about that time, I will blow up at somebody. I'll be like, you suck, and you didn't do this right. And I start yelling at somebody, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, wait, sweetheart, is that you? You forgot about me. You don't love me. Nobody cares about me. But that's how we are. And we're all, there was a great analogy from Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote Mastery of Love. Did you ever read that book?
I have not.
There are two great things, if I may share it with you, from Don Miguel Ruiz. One is he said, he's the guy who, by the way, wrote the Four Agreements.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's his lesser known book, is Mastery of Love. So one of the things he shares is that every one of us, Jen, is like a person walking around covered in third-degree burns. So if I get too close to you, then it's like, ooh, back away. So the other thing that he shares, it's a beautiful story. May I share with you the story?
Please do.
Okay. So in the book he shares, I want you to imagine that you have a magical kitchen. And in this magical kitchen, you can have the best barbecue, the best pizza, the best pasta, the best anything your heart desires. However, let's imagine that somebody comes and they knock on your door and they say, I am going to offer you a deal. I'm going to give you one pizza a day for the rest of your life, but in exchange, Jen, you have to let me abuse you, put you down, control you, tell you what to do. You're going to say no. You're going to say, hell no. However, he says, I want you to now imagine instead that you have no magical kitchen, that you are starving, that you have not eaten for days. That same person comes knocking, and they say, hey, I have a special offer for you. You can have one pizza a day, and I'm going to give it to you every day. In return, though, you have to let me berate you, degrade you, demean you, control you. You might consider it, right?
Yeah, probably so. If I'm starving, basic needs met.
So here's what Don Miguel Ruiz says. He says that magic kitchen is our heart, and that food is love. And if we realize that we are never starving, we can always give ourselves that love we need, then we don't ever need to take anybody who's going to control us or degrade us or demean us, because we can always provide it to ourselves.
Wow, that's powerful. And on that note, we do have to take a brief break, but we will be right back after these messages.